your speculation rate is also less. Today, your margin usage rate is very low. That's your principle. The only thing I've ever done in my life is invest in stocks. The first at PT, you borrow at full capacity. All my friends, or your loved ones that you have to mobilize. Because I saw the opportunity so clearly. Crowds and new people. People don't know anything about stocks. It is also my chance to realize. It's not that I'm good, but I realize here's an opportunity. It's a chance that he can change his life. Before, I was with you. Confused with investing in speculation, and we lost a lot of money. I held it for a long time, but holding the top. I see that's the problem. It costs people a lot of money. Let me ask you first about your perspective. What is investment and what is speculation? Is it really detailed? The details are easier to understand. It's almost like the person who is born has already touched the muscle. Frequently in society, people see the opportunities and people act immediately. So that's the nature of speculation. It means investing in the opportunity. The opportunity doesn't come at any time. People have to wait. You can see it every day or every year, or any human being. Lots of opportunities in life. It's called speculation. Investment is more strategic. The first is to have a long-term mindset. It's followed by discipline, patience, and steady action. The nature of the investment you have to remember for important keys. Can you go deeper into each key? The first is discipline. The most important thing is long-term thinking. After that, does my nature have patience? Is there discipline? And there's a cash flow that's going to be consistent. That's what Cho said about financial investment. And you, for example, do you have the patience and discipline to do it? There's a long-term mindset. This is not only done in 1 month has been successful. It may take a few years for it to work. What investors always think is, it's not an immediate result. It is beneficial right now that called in B8 of 5 years. Is the result itself good? Investors have to think like that. I finally took the time to do it. Not often. Investing is boring. Let's say you find a subject you say you run, or a weightlifting exercise, in the gym, or whatever. Can you do it often? For example, are you busy enough to fill a day? So that's the requirement. It's very difficult to invest when you talk about that long-term vision. Was an investor, and I determined I invest in something that I have to think about. The results come in the long run. That's right. I have to think about the future. For example, you go to school. I have to think after this knowledge. 55 more will support me very much. And the results will come after a long time. That's right. It's not going to school. I can get into the market. Yes, I can win now. I understand. It means that when I'm thinking about investing, I will be very careful. I have a long way to go. Right. As you go about his investment, when you have a vision, how do you prepare for the vision? Talk about this financial side of health and knowledge. You've also started working in the market, or into that life. They all have the same understanding as everyone else. It starts with buying and selling. Because I also see the opportunity. Because I didn't realize it myself at the time. I know which one I fit. I can see which method to approach. The easiest thing is to just do it. The approach. The easiest is the technical method. So I keep looking at the chart, then look at the price list. It was hard to know how to look at the price list. It's not like your computer. My brother now. When 2005 was us, the computer was rare. We ourselves don't have personal computers. You always have to look at the price list of the stock company it runs. It's running. Maybe a minute later. It's only a few minutes before the stock returns. It's running around like that. The table shows that it only shows about 10, 15 or 20 shares. Then after a while, you just got back in the stock. The price has changed a lot. When I buy it, it's not accurate. That's the point where it's not what it is. You all have to learn. Let me find out. Which method do I adapt to? That's how the market works. With their technology like that, I have to find out. If I find out late, I will lose a lot. The more opportunity cost. Then, the process of learning anything is the same. It's the same with your exercise. At first, I follow this subject. For example, you go to the gym, playing sports like table tennis and cycling. But in the end, I also found out that walking and running is the most suitable, because I am independent of myself. You don't have to ask any AI. It doesn't depend on the weather. I'm ready to go anytime. Not done during the day. For example, in the calendar, that day I will add as a regular. For example, I decided that one day I would go. Steps to go. As for your finances, example to prepare for. It's an investment. How do you prepare the money and the cash flow? In investment, I think the most important thing is to be prepared all the times that you winning in the market. This is because my preparation is very thorough. For example, I feel there is an opportunity to prepare a new cycle about to begin. Any one job, any friend who asks you to do this, I'll just ignore it and put it all away. Let me prepare for about finance, about thinking, about observing the market. When the opportunity comes, I only have one. Press the button and prepare very carefully. That's the most important thing. It's not that I heard the analysis today. Anti-law. Always buy it. Right. Usually a stock. For you to decide to buy it, you have to watch it for at least a long time, so that you can understand its trading personality. Because the nature of a stock is that there are personalities. People trade in there. It will have a common character. For example, the size of a stock that trades. Scale millions. Stock one day. I also have to understand what millions are like. Or stocks. It's about trading a few thousand a day. I also have to understand people who, for example, several thousand. It shows that the people in there are very patient. Is it better for me or not? Where are the stocks that trade back and forth? Maybe hundreds of thousands of orders. Even now, as millions a command, I have to understand the character of that. What kind of stock is it? Organizations that are heavily involved, or individuals, or speculators that are heavily involved. Many investors are involved. Then I saw that. Yeah, your personality is fit to participate. I joined to escape, or I joined to invest. To discern that, it takes a lot of time. So I've never also approached speculation, but then we'll approach it in a basic way. The basics are solid. Then you will be able to decide what to speculation in the raw circuit, and you combine that. Speculation on short-term opportunities. If the market opportunity it allows, most people are looking for. It can be combined immediately. I haven't had enough experience in the market, and not yet discerning the mind. It has been decided. It's like we used to confuse investment and speculation. I don't know this piece. I'm in this stock for long-term investment. Or we can buy short-term products. Use this to serve. So it cuts the hole. It doesn't it's an investment, and it's probably good. Things to let. If you keep it, it's very dangerous. No, it's very dangerous. Because often, when you hit a whole level called, I keep imagining each person has their own strength. The hole you cut has its own strength. For example, if your strength is only 10%, some people are 20%. You can't stand that people can't cut it again and lose control of the nerve. And then each of them has that kind of stamina. If you get past that point, people won't let go. So, if the experts, when it comes to speculation, stop loss for any reason and wrong discipline to right from the beginning. The speculation is also very difficult. What kind of personalities, what kind of style, and what kind of resources it's suitable for investment and speculation. I think about investing in their own market. I think it's up and down to 5%. And most people think that I am investing. That's the danger. So that's what defines it. Being fit is the hardest. I have a patient and disciplined personality. Thinking about the long term. Is there a regular money allocation? You can have a regular source of income, or you have the money to prepare. Let's give it a regular one. You can make an investment. It is called a necessary condition. The only condition is that you have to choose the right one. The company you're going to buy. Is it a long-term asset? If you choose the wrong property, it's also broken. Let's say you choose gold. It's going to go up in the long run. Bitcoin, for example, in the last couple of cycles, it's still going up. What's the criteria it will meet? Act frequently. That's long-term growth. If you choose the wrong property, the end of that cycle, it will either disappear, or it's into a saturation of the enterprise. Next time it's not true. Then I had to learn about the cycle. When an industry, or a business, it's the end of the cycle. When to invest. The most important thing is that I have patient resources advice. Give me the price. If I have one, I have to share it. It's very safe and go the long way. And you said you had to choose a property. Definitely increase in price. Either raise the price or just pay dividends. Right. It's also a form of growth. As for speculation, it's very easy to speculate. I think every young person has access to the market. Or you yourself. That's it. Access to the market is by speculation. I want to be the fastest. There's only two things. To do it as quickly as possible, and there are immediate results. At least I have the results I also know how wrong it is. So that's the motivational approach. Because people, us need to find opportunities. Those two factors are the most difficult. When we find an opportunity, we have to wait. They also require patience. Most of the time, I like to act. I like to buy. There is discipline. It also requires discipline, whether to stop or the target for whatever price we sell. It's not an infinite goal. They all have selling points, and it is very difficult to determine the selling point. Invisible general. When it comes to that initial approach, It's very easy. There's a method like this here. Go into the sale and that's it. It's like knowing about the stock market. Even if you've just been exposed to the stock market, if you look into the stock market, there's a lot of videos that teach technical analysis. New people like you get it wrong. This is what's driving the market. Not bad. Then I went deeper and found that I see the technical methods are just right. Just for a phase. There are periods where there are no ways. Like you said, it does not allow. It doesn't even have a chance to serve. Well, that's what speculators do. A speculator's instinct is, when you don't see a way, can you sit still? Or I'll keep looking for opportunities. But actually, there's very little chance of that. But I proved it. Being able to find it is difficult. So that's the thing. The first speculation is that people are very easily exposed. I myself was also exposed to the first speculation. And then you meet the people who are specialized in engineering. People believe technical analysis as a religion. Most of you don't. Not seeing success. And then the process of seeing people again. People are starting to talk about the macro. We're talking about dynasties and we're talking about fundamental analysis. What does business mean? People themselves find it in effect. And in the process, people learn more. It's basically economic. About business. And then there's other skills that people improve. Then naturally what effect people have. It's not essentially technical analysis. The people you use to meet. These are the people who since the very it was terrible. I'm not a slacker. It's not about technical analysis. You have contact with people who are in the investor was about 5 years old. After you invest, well, there are some masters too. Talking about technical analysis is master and you can only judge if you are really good at it. It's got to be the concept of efficiency. It's all about results. People show me what I need to hear. I just understand that. I hear people say that in the stock market. Actually, any one piece of information I just listen to know. It has to be experienced personally. In the technique, you don't experience too much efficiency, but you look at the technique further down the line. The chart you use is a week or more. Or, which stage is the cycle accumulation of shares, the growth phase of the stock to distinguish. In the end, I manage my own money. For example, you focus a lot on investing, the stage where it's growing. I wouldn't put too much into investing. I'm only short-term speculating. Right, that's right. When you win the circuit of thinking, once you know the cycle, I will distribute it according to the growth. It's a period called market growth. To be more efficient at investing, but when it's wrong, it's hard. These stocks are sometimes held for a long time. It doesn't increase. And as soon as we started selling, we saw it go up. He said he should be an investor. It's time they decided to take it. The price is too high. As sale L14, it goes up to 400. Take one shot and it goes through the Chen knife cycle. Divide by 10. You can explain the psychology behind the job. Are investing back into Do you want to invest it? The psychology of a stock or a human being. When people's beliefs reach that level, well, people don't notice. It's actually a common belief. That's when it's a speculative state. That's the stock. It's almost at its peak. All the things that happen to the players, people who are in the stock, it has made people confirm that this is not the first stock. It's a growth and investment stock. And then all of that psychology comes together. It calls to tap into the hyper-speculative state of the stock. What we call after the peak will be the abyss. It means my psyche. It's my belief. It is also determined by the price. It's driven by the collective psychology of stocks. That's the psychology of stocks. All the mass it creates. The state of the stock. When you reach the top, you always see what it is. High volatility. The volume is large. You can't raise the price either. That's the general state. It's called super speculation. If you look at the history of stock speculation in the US market, years like the 2000s are called the dot-com bubble. Is that there are stocks that are very long, even when it's time. The down zone is over. So those are good stocks, like Microsoft. It's been a long time since the old top, because it's in a hyper-speculative state. It's not the good, it's the good, but it's in a hyper-speculative state. That means people get stuck up there a lot. The time to deal with it. It's called supply and demand, and it takes a lot of time. Good stock, 1, but the price goes up to 10. Then when it collapses, it may be a good market. Let the company do the good. The 10 that people value is also very long. For example, if you invest, super speculation, are you in, as you say, in a state like 2021 2, for example, stock at the destination, if it goes up to about 50, you're scared on their ability to value. The first is the real estate industry. Details of its projects. I also feel it's far away. Expectations are too high. You yourself are not involved. That's it. The markets that speculate as to 2021, it's often the experienced ones, like we make less money. But I was careful from there. It means that the hot speculation is often the case that careful investors doesn't make a lot of money. People like us, like you, Mr. Hugh. Then I made a lot of money and I didn't know. I only know how to hold it at that time. If you see that the holding is increasing, my house is an investor. It's easy to invest. Just buy and hold. So we don't know what's good or bad. If the price increases, we will confirm that it is good. 2-2. Then we lose a lot of pain. I was very careful until 2-2. You have a lot of cash to buy the property. It's very cheap. 2 of them actually had a surprise. With many investors, I also have experience in the previous cycle, but it's so different because it is COVID. So I don't understand. The level of money it's pumping is terrible. After that, it will also be an experience. Let me understand that. Any cycle has unusual things too. It's forcing governments to pump money. That also shows what are the cycles to react. It's also very different. It doesn't have that. A cycle is like any cycle. There is no such thing as a crisis. That's what's good about stock. It's not the same if we use old experience to get the app in. It usually leads to very painful results. We need to know when we enter the market. The stock market has a point like this. The old data, or the present. But I analyzed for the future. It's very conflicting. Financial statements, for example, or at most the present. But I have to know, well, will that report be better in the future? The price is up to expectation. At the price I set my expectations. And all that old data, it's just data. It doesn't serve too much investment. The process that you invest in all the time. More than 25. You're currently combining between investment and speculation. You still combine. Right. Your speculation rate is also less. 25 is the rate. It is called using your margin is very less. That's your principle. The only thing in my life is to invest. The first FPT stock. You borrowed all the money. Always with all your friends. Or your loved ones that you have to mobilize. Buy all. Because I saw the opportunity so clearly. And all the crowds and the new people. People don't know anything about stocks. I think it's an opportunity. It is also my chance to realize. It's not that I'm good, but I realize here's an opportunity. It's a chance that he could change his life. If I go to work, it's hard. So I have to put all my heart into it to raise capital. After that, you don't use those. It's a dream. By the time you use that, it's set in 2005. And now, it is very difficult to use it now. Life is difficult, but to use it, I think there's got to be a crisis. That means we have to wait for a super crisis. Even some good pay with still a 2 is I can use. Right. I think it's currently priced around $80. Using Mason is extremely dangerous. Because it's actually not. The crisis is clear. It doesn't have major crises. That's the valuation. It's never cheap. I have to understand that the stock market's getting bigger and bigger. You also have to learn new areas like crypto. That's why few people accept it. Few governments accept it, and it's been through a couple of cycles. It shows the power. I have to be interested in new areas, opportunities in new areas. It just made a big financial setup. Not using dreams. I see many of you now have own job. He is very busy with his own work, but the personality is a bit speculative. Do you have any advice for the brothers? I'm back to the first one. It's called patience. Discipline of determining speculation. Do I have time to observe regularly? Have you been on the market long enough? Experience long enough and I can discern. I can get involved in 2 ways. It's no problem. I think there's nothing wrong with investing with speculation. You said yesterday that's something other than experience in the market. What you experience for life. It's also very important. Can you talk more about this idea? It's your experience. I also played with a brother. It's a lot of life experience. Especially one is the experience of market street trading. Trade and resell. Later, I found that any job, or that any business is a security understand code. It deeply enough, then we'll know what's going on. In order for a business to do business, so it must also be in stock. Short-term or long-term inventory. The more people do business, and especially very fast trade, is that people's ability to speculate will be very good. But at sound, there are people can't get through to get people into the stock market. People are very good at trading. It's the people out there that I believe enter the market. Is it easy to succeed? But there's a huge barrier. It's a word. A little bit of English has economic language. These ordinary people specialize in business, or maybe the gambling business is afraid of words. concepts people don't understand. People go into people feeling very afraid of feeling it. Very high level of barriers to joining. It means that when you good business outside, especially the buying part, it worked. That means in the stock market, but speculation success rate is very higher than the average person. It's especially about people's personalities, is that people can choose to speculate reasonably, but because of the barrier, linguistically, it's to specialize. Turns out it's been tricked. People think this is hard, right? Yes. It's just buying and selling again, like a human commodity. I think like a shredder out there. It's the master of the stock market. She also understands the dynamic of each item. Let people buy. For example, people feel that this item is going down in price. People don't store much anymore, or they store a lot of it. Then if people expect the item to go up in later price, people knew hundreds of items. If it's a grocery store, it's hundreds of stocks. Then people can differentiate. Whatever is right, someone can win. What is wrong is accepted as a whole. There. In fact, stocks are very common, but that people or suffer from financial language. It's so far away. So people have this psychological barrier. It means now, when I went into the stock market, we should learn the basic concept. And all the basic concepts are that we have to get it right. It's like you ask the investment with speculation. It's easy to misunderstand. And about 99% of Vietnamese people are now misunderstood. These are concepts that I understand by their very nature. It is very easy to operate in a normal life. Right. I'm also developing an AI right now. In the community, Smile is also supporting people in what's called understanding concepts very quickly. I've seen it ever since this AI came out. It's your learning speed. It's got to go 10 times at least. Without this AI, maybe I'll learn all the concepts in 55 because it's too wide. 55 is not enough because actually who now does it for something like this? When I have a concept, I can put it right. There is a concept, but I have to go find a book. It took a long time to find the source. Only what is some brothers and sisters. It's a bad command. Learning AI by yourself is also very easy. You just need to understand which commands to use to learn it. For example, what components does it have? I understand each part. I'll give you the order. And I also made one. It's called a prompt or a command. Any interpretation that you put into words or with your thoughts, write it out in words. I asked her to arrange a prompt. That's enough to use the prompt. Who gave the answer? Standard and more complete. When I use AI, most of all, what I learn is very basic. For example, in the past, the numbers in the financial statement, you take a lot of time. I'm looking for a lot of YouTube videos. There are YouTube videos that I've been watching to understand the basic concepts. But now with AI, you just need to issue a command. Give me a simple explanation of this economics. Rules born normally. That's the baby. Your AI is that you are still optimal. But when you give that AI command, you have to play. I have to say, let's play the role of an economic expert, understanding of indicators and concepts. Then I'll give you the questions behind. Because it was AI, it will take all the knowledge of the best to serve you. Ever since I finished that last paragraph, he always said to take the most common example. From there I understood very quickly. But it's not like I used to be so vague. This is also thanks to you opening it up to the community. I think the pace of progress is also very slow. People today are, like you said, 95%, when 99% are still speculating. But over 25 exist on the stock market. I see people who have survived to this point make sustainable money. Is it by investment or speculation? I know to people, one investor, one speculator, to people are there's healthy. A common feature is that people's experience is enormous, and people are very hard to learn. You also invest in your knowledge. Invest in yourself often over and over again. My job often. Learn knowledge regularly. I also think of it as an investment. The very people you successfully play with. People have that kind of personality. It means that people are very good. Life. But people don't stop learning. Don't mind anyone new to learn people's minds like that. People's minds are speculating. That's the speculation. It's a good thing. And very few people say that. What is it? The longer you stay in the market, the more you risk. The speculation is actually the least. If you had the ability, I'm ready to sell and I've left the market. But the crisis happens or is the heavens. Russian black like 100 presidents. Just taxed, for example. You won't get caught up in that. So, the longer you stay in the market, the more risky people invest. You have to have a strategy from the beginning. You know, in the investment process, there will be a crisis. That's for sure. There will be this problem, the physical problem. So people have to allocate capital. You have to have a plan. That's why. If I invest, do I accept that? Then I decided to invest. I see the risk all the time. I will not invest. people will choose to speculate. There's the speculation. It's hard at the point when to buy and when to sell. I don't know when to buy and when to sell. In order to optimize that, it is one of the most difficult. I think this general mentality, the stock market itself, you see, people's stocks or businesses. When it goes down, people are easy to forget, but the stocks that go up, and fascinating even in the history of the cat, and then it disappeared. I still remember, impressed by the price increase, even though those parts aren't much, compared to the ones that disappeared, and so those that are saturated. But people always keep that in mind. That's the common psyche. When I understand the laws of psychology, we will solve relatively. The problem is inside. When you invest, I have to repeat the word, there will definitely be a crisis. That's why many of you are afraid. After buying this one, I just bought one and saw it go up and couldn't bear that maybe. Put it all in. If you are sitting here today, I told you to invest in crypto. I told him I only had $3,000. But the next time, I asked if I saw an increase. It means that the psyche can't stand it. I don't believe there will be a crisis. Most people don't believe there will be a crisis. Investment and speculation, you must have You'll never leave it unless you run out of money. So I had to win in there. Or you have the other areas to burn in. It's only two ways. You choose the path that leisurely. It's called matching yourself. It fits your way of life. Why do you still like the simple life? Your personality is simple. The people around me understand. My personality is simple. People also accept to live with a simple personality. Those who don't fit in. From the beginning I could hold people according to your will, but then I let go. I need relationships that are real and suit me. That means you're an investor. The lifestyle you choose, it also costs very simply focus a lot of AIs are, in your opinion, for more example, suitable for speculation. I also like a little flashy, lots of likes. There are more needs. When you invest, you minimize the need, because I feel the happiness in it. It's more about personal experiences. There are not too many needs. Eat well and dress well. At my age, I feel it. For me, eating is easy now. For example, there are people who are like passionate about these things. You are passionate about finding out. I'm passionate about the study of economics. When I see the passion in there, I feel that's not work and time. I'm sure you think few people can do a lot of work. The people I know have been successful so far. One is a value investor and one is a speculator. But in general, I see one is very invested in knowledge and learning. A higher percentage is still an investment. That's right. Higher investment and learning is often. Many people don't realize. One can follow this course, follow Kia course. People themselves read books. They learn. People think it's not an investment, but that's the investment. In an information society, it's very chaotic. It's very easy for people to get confused. I see it on YouTube now, as I said. I saw the technical analysis at the beginning. The pop-up live stream is all seen. Let's buy and sell. I interrupted you what you said. Currently, GPT chat, it's very good the information, because when you play that part, getting people to play, he is an expert, very little wrong. And the Kia, they're spontaneous, they do it. So the information is unverified. That's what's good at this time. But I see a lot of friends, even in my own community. I'm not interested in that either. You also said ask the questions. I answered Cho, but couldn't see it either. It's called being proactive in that. People don't feel it's necessary. As I see it now, it is everybody knows when you start something new. People are the trouble is I don't know how to start. But now I see with ZPT it's easy to get started. Just ask as you say. Play the expert. I want to find out in this field. Steps I should find out how raw always. It's very full out. From there, just follow the steps. But it has a point I use. TRANSGPT. It must also have a mindset. I don't know what the expert is. I also have to find a way. List of raw experts in this field of economics. Let it play the role of an expert. In statistics, it's listing all the experts in this field. Let me see which expert I can use. It's got to have the opposite question. Then in the one that uses transcript also has. The first is that we learn from the community. This smile from this master, from this donor, and from other masters. For example, is that he's a business beer? Your thinking is very different. As you go, for example, in-depth investment and speculation, all together. Then you can re-emphasize that for everyone. Why the choice of method? It's the right fit. It's the right fit. Invest it's the most speculation. You said the concept is obvious. No. The first investment is long-term thinking. Be patient and disciplined and do it regularly. And speculation is just about investing in opportunities. And but the most important thing is to fit in. I see all this life. To survive is to be fit. Existence is development. At least it has to survive to develop. It's all because it fits. It's called the end. The right person at the right time and the right suitable job for the family you choose. Life doesn't fit and then breaks up, and in a whole life. It's called suffering. If you don't break up, you live in pain. We have to endure each other. That's inappropriate. Choose a career that is not suitable for you. I also have to change. So choose the method. The investment is my whole life. Then I have to choose the method for matching approach for matching. Like now you don't fit in. Then what the inner fluctuation is very high. I'm a fast man that I keep catching. Just leave the stock there. I don't do anything. I don't trade anything. I won't stand it. Is when you have to fight inside. That's general psychology. Why are people born? I like what has to be done. Frequently. So, it's a speculation that's also more accessible. Some of them are my personalities. Is it suitable for speculation? If not, before and after have to go back to investing. It's because of speculation you have to go back to investing. We have to learn more and combine. This method is another method, but in the end, I have to find the right fit. Then I can go to school. I'm so happy. There's a talk today about the topic. Investment and speculation. The right factor in investment and speculation. Next session, we'll talk more about the stock market. It's not just a place to make money. It's about understanding the meaning and the discipline through the securities. I thank you all. I thank you for donating. Then thank you and thank everyone.